The problem with trying to produce news, that is, things you might not have heard, a smattering of all sorts of stories for the vast variety of you folks that I like to do here and I produce here, is, and if you've been following the story of me, a lot of tired and a lot of just sort of just time has gotten away from me to do things that can be produced in a manner that is good for me and good for you as well. Good stories, good stuff. It's not just pulling low hanging fruit and just jumping on the Trump, Trump, Trump train, because there's plenty of Trump, Trump, Trump train to jump onto in just 6 weeks, 7 weeks of this year so far of him just kind of going all over the place. But the real story, that's the real story, is the missing Nancy Guthrie story. And it's a story that is getting larger, getting more exotic, if you will, just crazier. And because it's a story that we should not really be putting that much focus on, it's become the story that is there. We have the salaciousness of the story that becomes a bigger story because it is a person who is backed by a very famous person, the person who does what I'm doing here, talks about the news and talk about information, and they should be out there celebrating the Olympics right there with all the Americans doing great stuff and doing what she does and what she loves and does very well. But now she's worried about her mother being lost, being missing, going whatever. And as the story unfolds, and gets oddly stranger. We're finding having persons of interest and videos of people on ring cameras and things like that to make this more of a TMZ type story. And trust me, TMZ is doing what they can to milk this for what they can. It's becoming hard to do. And this is not a story that guys like me on the internet can just kind of ramble on and on about and doing things. This is the kind of story that when you go back to my past and go back to my background in talk radio, that you can hammer on and kind of get one little piece of information and just ramble on it for hours and hours, and you turn into one of those raving mad, Rush Limbaugh type people, which you don't want to do with a story like this. If unless you have a lot of people who can give you insight to it and they're doing it over and over again, because we're not getting a lot of updates, you can't really do this story because it's just out there and it overshadows everything. So we're covering it this way, but we're not covering it in a salacious way. So we'll get in more hot takes and more things going on and more Donald Trump wants to fight with Olympic athletes, as you will. But we're going to let the investigation continue with this one, and we're going to watch and wait as well.